Here is the 2024 Ford Expedition Timberline in black over black. This is the sweet spot when you're considering what you're getting for performance, raised suspension, off-road tires, and full capabilities for towing and payload. But is it going to be the best? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over some pros and cons. The problem that I have with the Expedition and the comparable rivals. Starting off, you're getting 0.8 inches more clearance when you go Timberline. So this is going to max at 10.6 inches. 3 total skid plates. Everything in the front is LED, so the C-structure headlights, daytime runnings, and fog lamp assembly. It's going to integrate into the grille, and this is a unique grille design for the Timberline with the orange that's going to be in between the bumpers, and you're going to get the Timberline badging. As for the Jeep Wagoneer, that's going to have a little bit more clearance, especially if you option for the air suspension, because you'll get an additional 3.5 inches of clearance. So that one will be the best in class. This is going to be the sweet spot with performance, especially if you're comparing this to the Limited all the way up to the Platinum trim, because you're getting 40 horsepower more out of the 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost twin turbo. It's getting 440 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, which is 30 pound-feet of torque more than that variant, paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And comparing it against the base engine option, 60 horsepower more, 40 pound-feet of torque more, paired with 265/70 18-inch wheels, all-terrain tires, achieving 16 mpgs for the city, 19 mpgs for the highway. You're getting a lot when you're thinking Toyota Sequoia. You're going to be paying more to get the capabilities in which this has. The same thing if you go into the Tahoe, leaving us with the Jeep Wagoneer, which will be the best in class for towing because you get up to 10,000 pounds. Then it will be the Sequoia, but you'll be spending at least $5,000 to $10,000 more than this example. And then this will be third in class, outperforming Chevy and GMC with towing maxing at 9,200 pounds, off-road suspension and shock absorbers to make this a little bit more smooth for the day in and day out, or to even take it off pavement. LED taillights. The rear, I wish that they exposed the dual exhaust outlets, because when you're going into the high output V6 twin turbo, this is the most performance that they have for the Expedition, and you can only option this with this tier or the Stealth. And then it's tucked underneath front and rear parking sensors with a 360-degree reverse camera and 4-zone lighting. One thing that's cool about these Expeditions is you have this window here that you could throw in objects if you're tall like me. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like a Toyota where it would have the racks. Power liftgate that goes into 19.3 cubic feet of storage. The bumper does come out and it does sit up a little bit, and you're going to have another 4 inches or so coming inside with LED interior lights, bag holders on both sides, a storage nook underneath the floor. It gets a little bit of storage space, split fold the rear bench in the back at a 60-40 split. That's going to increase the cargo to 63.6 cubic feet, and do the same thing for those captain seats to max cargo at 104.6 cubic feet. This is the twin turbo high output. We need to go inside and start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. 10-way power seat adjustment for the front. This is the Active X seating with the Timberline badging, contrast stitching with the orange, heated and ventilated, which is an option for ventilated. When you go into the Limited, it will just come standard. Memory for the driver. Headroom and leg room. The Expedition is a large vehicle, so you're going to have a lot of space for the front occupants. Storage is going to be on the side. It's not going to be a pass-through, but you have a sleeve on both sides. 2 glove boxes, so that way it optimizes a little bit more storage capabilities with a 12-volt charger right there on the passenger side. A flat dash with the contrast stitching, and we'll have that orange that is going to be on the lower part as well, with an infotainment screen, which is very large. We have navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM AM FM streaming Bluetooth audio. Try climate control settings start on the XLT, and this is a multi-function knob. So when you click on any of your air condition settings here, or if you want to click onto the stereo, you just turn it on like that, and then it'll be for the volume. The zone lighting and the towing, which is great for any services that you're going to do. This will give you a checklist, and you can add your trailer on there so you know everything that's going. You can also record
likes, dislikes, or suggestions about the experiences with your vehicle, and then select send.
And that will go
back was sent.
And that will go back to Ford. So I like how they're trying to make it a little bit more intuitive by asking the customers. Putting into reverse, full trajectory, 360-degree reverse camera. You can zoom in and out for the tow, and you can zoom here with different camera angles and go back to the 360. The rotary knob is going to clean up the center a little bit. Slide this open, you get a wireless charger with 2 USB ports. That's an option on the XLT. Open this up, and here's the key fob for the Expedition. It's going to be large, and inside, it's going to be even larger. Little storage tray, another 12 volt. You could fit a whole bag in here if you're going traveling. With a leatherette steering wheel, it's heated, multi-function, adaptive cruise control, and lane keep assist will start on the XLT. Gauge cluster that can go through an array of information for the driver, including the off-road, or your pinch and roll, and any other information for the driver. And you have the driver mode select right here with your 2 high, 4 low, and 4 high wheel or automatic. When you go into your driving mode, you got normal, slippery. It's going to show you a little video too, so I think it's pretty cool the way they integrate this. The door panels and the dash can figure in together. It's going to be more or less soft materials where it needs to be, one touch up and down for the windows. Standard is 6 speakers. Bang & Olufsen sound system is an option on this tier. It comes standard on the Limited with a long storage pocket, 2 beverage holders carved out, with a pano moonroof that goes only to the second row, and an auto-dimming rear view mirror. For the second row, headroom and legroom storage behind both of the front seats. Third, climate control, USB ports, home plug, cup holders, and heated second row with a storage underneath and a 12 volt. There isn't going to be any sunshades on the Timberline, but you get the air vents here, and the pano goes pretty much to the back of the seat. These seats do move forward. So it's 4-way manual adjustment, in which I still have room, and in the back seat, you have loads of space. Even if I recline these back, you can still somewhat fit an adult behind me. Door panel is going to start off with a storage area here that's not necessarily a cup holder, but I would still use it for that. You get another storage tier and a long storage pocket with a beverage holder carved out. Going to the back seat, pull the lever and slide it forward. Use the running boards, and you got a lot of room to come back here. These are power seat adjustment, which starts on the Limited trim. We're going to move these captain seats back so you can see the leg room and how you can fit 3 adults back here. Cup holders, USB ports. Here's the mechanics to recline these seats, which doesn't go too far back and it goes a little bit forward. You're going to have this right here because of the middle seat. Headroom isn't bad. Sliding over into the center is going to be the best with feet space. I just like that I can stretch it out because we have the optional captain seats with headroom still not being an issue. 440 horsepower with 510 pound-feet of torque. This is high output 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo EcoBoost. Has a lot in one sentence. That's a lot of power also that's underneath the hood of this vehicle. 10.6 inches of clearance, off-road suspension, all-terrain tires, 3 skid plates. Where are we going with this thing? We should take it off-road, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to just show you the everyday drive. Now we're going to show you a little bit of that performance. Reveal some of the imperfections. Here we go. Now it's not a V8, but man, this thing got power to get you a speeding ticket like no other, and you have room in the interior. When you go up one tier with this vehicle, you will be able to option the captain seat configuration. You can option 8-passenger as well, but I personally would go the captain seats. Braking, not gonna quite stop on a dime, and you can feel it because it's a bit heavy, but it's to be expected. This is a big box on wheels. It's gonna take me to the pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is you give full round capabilities to do some off-road capabilities. When you're thinking about a truck that's in the 80 grand price, typically you're wanting to get the luxury. They capture that, plus they go a step further by giving you all of the capabilities off-road. In the interior, it's spacious. It feels like a house. Total of 15 cup and bottle holders found throughout. You have this huge screen. I'm not a big fan of it because it does kind of come out a little bit more so from the top, but for the most part, it does fit seamless. The cons to it though is it is multi-input. So if you want to change the climate control opposed to your sound system, you have to simply click a button, then it will work. So 2-3 clicks pretty much for everything for it to more or less operate. Fully digital gauge cluster. The seats are comfortable. Charging ports on every row, and it's ultra quiet in the interior. Some other cons is it's not the best in class for towing, not the best in class for ground clearance. Payload is one of the best in class, but it's still not the best there either. Turn radius at a stop point. This is a long vehicle, but it's still getting about, well, right at 3 lanes. Let's rock and roll. The 10-speed automatic transmission does have a little glitch to the changing of the gear, especially when you are in sport mode and giving it a little go. So you'll feel that hesitation here and there. But for the most part, the suspension just glides, and that's because you have a double wishbone front suspension and a multi-link rear suspension setup. The cargo does set up a little bit more so than my liking when I'm thinking about the Jeep Wagoneer. It's similar to the Chevy and the GMC, the way it gives you like an extra 4 inches for the back, so you'll lose top to bottom storage capabilities. But when you're thinking this thing is just a hair under 5,400 pounds and a 0 to 60 is like under 6 seconds, it's one of the quickest vehicles in its class. That's a lot to swallow when you're encasing everything this car is capable of doing. The steering is going to be a little bit light and loose, but it is to be expected when you're considering this is an off-road variant. So you will feel that a little bit more so, especially when you're doing any 3-point turns or U-turns. Now, you're not going to be doing this all the time, but considering you have the capabilities to do it, that's the point that I'm trying to prove. The problem that I have with the Expedition is there's a lot of trim. So if you go into the XL, XLT, or STX, you're getting the least power variant in which your towing payload goes down. You go Limited, King Ranch, Platinum, the same thing. It's going to bump up the power, but you're still not getting full capabilities. You have to spend $80,000+ in order to get full capabilities. And then when you go into the interior, you're losing some of the plush amenities and you're not even getting 5G capabilities. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Furman Ford for giving us this 2024 Ford Expedition Timberline for our car review.